welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to teach you guys how to get 100 clients in 1 month guaranteed. I'm just kidding. Like, no, we're just going to talk, girl or guy. We're going to talk. Let's talk. Hey everybody, what's going on? Today I want to talk to you guys about how to obtain and keep clients as a personal trainer. Now, I started this whole conversation about the personal training thing very recently, and there is one more video prior to this, so I will create a playlist especially for you. So just, I don't know, find it somewhere. I'm sure I'll link it for you guys down below. So today I want to talk to you guys about how to get clients and then keep them. So this is going to be more like a conversational video as opposed to like some kind of scheme or steps style thing. For those of you who are watching this video, like some of you might already be personal trainers, some of you might have just started working as a trainer, some of you might be thinking about it and are not sure about if this is the right thing for you to do. Either way, I'm sure all of these videos will kind of help you get a little bit of clarity on what you should be doing, what it takes to be successful, and these are the tips and tricks that worked for me. For those of you who do not know, I will keep this very short, but probably say it in every single video. I have been working as a personal trainer for over a decade now, and I have traveled the world and worked in a few different countries in the field. Okay. The first thing is about how to get clients or prospect for clients. Generally, when you work in a commercial gym, such as Good Life Fitness in Canada or Fitness First in Australia, those are the only two I can think of. Most gyms will sort of feed you the clients, especially in the beginning when you start. So that kind of means where they will speak to the client or a member that signs up, offer them personal training and say, you know what, we have this new trainer named Brian or Jody or Maria or Steve or Rajesh or whatever. And you can, get personal training with them or do a complimentary assessment. Generally, gyms will pay you money to do the assessment, but the client doesn't pay anything. So you get paid like minimum wage, and then that's your opportunity to convert the client into a full-time paying client for yourself. Now, when you start, this is a really nice perk to have in a gym, but generally when you've been at a company a long time, the attention does tend to shift over to the newer clients who are coming, newer trainers who are coming in. And so it does sort of become your job on an ongoing basis to also find clients when you really need them. So you can't expect that as your only way to get clients long term. If you're doing your own business, girl, it's all you. You gotta find your own clients. Now, the best tool that you can use for marketing yourself is social media. This is not something I used ever. I did not really get into it. I never really could. I didn't know, I just got very lost on it. But given the times that we are living in now, and if you are just starting out, social media can be one of your best tools. Now, this is also where I would say, if there is a platform that you are particularly popular on or have more followers on, use that platform as much as you can. You have LinkedIn, you have Snapchat, you have TikTok, you have Instagram, you have Facebook, you have Twitter. There's so many ways to let the world know that you are available as a trainer, especially if you've been training for a long time, like you work out and you're in great shape or whatever, or you're very educated about food or nutrition, and people see that you're actually starting to work as a trainer and take clients, you never know what that can lead to. Offering complimentary sessions or like a starter pack, which is sort of like where someone can buy anywhere between 4 to 10 sessions with you to get an idea of what it's like to train with you, is going to be incredible. This is also where you offer people training at a cost much less than what it would normally be to train with you. So let's say your normal rate is $70 an hour. You would be offering, a starter pack where The cost of each session will probably run between $15 to $20 an hour, and you let them know that this is a discounted package that allows you to experience training with me. And if you really like it, we can talk about long-term training. People have a tendency to get fixated on the money element. Okay, but like how much is it going to be to like really train with you? How much is like training really cost? Try and like steer them away from that focus of just money and get them to really obtain the experience of having you as a trainer and show them how you can be helpful. Now, in all my videos, I'm trying to speak to the trainers who are truly committed and passionate about what they do, but not those like losers who are just getting into it to make a lot of money and injure people. Like, don't be that guy or that girl. I have seen some really, really horrible trainers, and they obviously don't last because people are not stupid. And so generally people figure it out and they're like, you're a waste of my time and money. And sometimes there's lawsuits, so that can happen, because if you injure somebody severely or to a point where you push their buttons, they will come back at you with a lawyer, and that is a possibility in this job. Okay, so make sure that if you're going to get into this, you get into it with the right intentions. So anyway, so back to that. Offering people a starter pack or a complimentary assessment is an incredible tool to get a conversation going with somebody. Now, sometimes it can happen where you have an incredible assessment, or you give somebody like 4 sessions and they love it, but then they genuinely cannot afford it. Now, don't turn those people away. Stay in contact with those people when you can. If they still frequent your gym, keep that conversation going, because even if they cannot afford training with you for any purpose, they might have a friend or a relative or a colleague who they think might need a trainer, and they think that you are that right fit for them. And that has happened to me before, where I did an assessment with somebody and then they couldn't afford it. But then their husband came to me, and then the husband was like, you know what, I'm going to pay for my wife. And then the mother-in-law came, and then the father-in-law came. And it just kind of became a joke in my gym that I became the trainer for that family. And it does happen. So maintain good relationships with people. And also, one of the things I mentioned in my last video was like, keep your uniform on all the time. When you are in work mode, stay in work mode, girl or guy. Keep that uniform on, because you could be in Starbucks getting a coffee and someone will just be like, oh my God, what's healthy to eat here? Do you work close to here? Are you looking for clients? My mom needs a trainer. Any conversation can become a conversation for your business. And so that's a really, really incredible thing that you can do. When you work for yourself, it's also incredible because you might meet somebody who says, oh my God, I really need a trainer. You're so incredible. This happened to me on a plane, where somebody was sitting next to me and I was like, hey, do you have issues with like your left hip? And the guy was like, how did you figure that out by sitting next to me? And I'm like, I just noticed your movements, like when you got up to go to the bathroom or the way you've been fidgeting. And so like it turned out he lived in a completely different country, but I was able to offer him like a program that he paid me for, and I would send it to him and then he would do it. So when you work for yourself, you also have that little tool in your pocket. When you work for a company, they generally don't allow you to run your business outside of the company because it's like a conflict of interest. But that also depends on where you work and who you work for and what kind of structure they have or how nice they are or whatever, you know, so politics. Okay, so let's say you have them for the assessment or they've bought the sessions with you or whatever. What happens next? Now, the assessment is your opportunity not only to learn about the person's body and their movement, but it's also an opportunity for you to be able to sell yourself and what you will be able to provide to that client. What are the things you should be testing for in an assessment? You should be testing a pull movement, a push movement, a hip hinge, I would say at least a squat if possible, and some kind of core movement. if you want to test flexibility with the toe touch and like do some like upper body mobility or flexibility tests, you can also do that. So these little like things are going to be your best tools, so you can get them to do like a body weight squat for a couple of repetitions, see how their form is, their technique is. You will get them to do like a deadlift or a hip hinge. You can even just get them to show you a hip hinge. When I have people who are a little bit older and they're like, I don't know what a hip hinge is, I will, especially to women, refer to the bend and snap from Legally Blonde.
I think I dropped something on the floor that I need to pick up. So you bend and snap.
Most women are like, oh my god, I totally know what that is, and they're able to show me a hip hinge pretty efficiently, and that helps me to teach them the movement. When I get younger clients, unfortunately, now they do not know that movement or the movie, so I end up feeling old, and then I'm just like, okay, just show me how you would do a deadlift or something like that, which is also not too bad now because everybody has Instagram and they're always following some kind of fit chick or hashtag fit fam person, okay? And then you want to do like a pull movement, which could be like a row, it could be a pull-up. Yep, I would say a row or a pull-up is probably best. And then you can get them to do a push movement, which generally is like a push-up, which is like where you can test their strength. And then a core movement could be like a plank, it could be a side plank, bird dog. That will also allow you to see their balance and core stability as well. So these are like some of the basic tools you can use. I'm sorry, somebody just banged the fucking shit out of their door outside and that just completely threw me off. Okay. So those are the things you're going to do, and then based on how they perform in their assessment, you will be able to sit down with them and go, okay, you know what? I noticed your chest is really tight, you have some core instability, you have one hip a little bit higher than the other. When you are squatting, I've also noticed that your quads are very tight. This could potentially be because you have a sedentary job. You sit all day at work. And so I want to help and work on the opposing muscles and make you stronger. I mean, this is just an example, or you might get somebody who is like a tennis player, but they have like no core strength, they have like no arm strength or something, and you could be like, if you really want to succeed in tennis, we're going to work on these things over the next 3 to 4 months. You want to show them a long-term plan that you have to get them stronger or fitter or healthier or sexier or whatever it is that their goal is. One of the things that I forgot to mention, or I want to mention, is that when you first meet a client, for the absolute first conversation you have, you're going to ask them, like, why are you in the gym? Why do you want to lose weight, or why do you want to get stronger? And people are always going to give you a very surface reason. You know, I just want to fit into my jeans. I just want to like feel a little bit better or whatever. I would really recommend that you get to the core of that reason. When I first started my job, my first manager told me, ask why. Be like a little kid who is just like curious. So when somebody says, you know, I just want to look like a girl, the girls on the magazine covers, why? You know, I just feel like I would feel better about myself. Why? Because I don't feel so good about myself. Why? Because I get tired very quickly and I'm only 20 years old. Why? Because I eat like shit. Why? Because I went through a really bad breakup and I just feel really insecure about myself. Aha. So like that will allow you to create a program for that person that not only helps them maybe lose weight or become stronger, but you're also really focusing on reinforcing that idea of allowing that client to feel stronger in who they are as a person. And your clients will really, really come to rely on you, not only as a trainer, but as a therapist, as a friend. Your clients will probably end up seeing you more than they see most other people in their lives. And so they will really rely on you for themselves, to feel better about who they are and how they look and how they feel, etc. So when you sit down with a client for the first time and you have that conversation, if you are genuinely interested in being that kind of trainer, really sit down and listen to them. Don't just think, okay, I'm a bodybuilder, so I'm going to train everybody else as a bodybuilder and I don't care about anything else. You know, generally, I would say most of the time, people have a trainer not just because they don't know how to work out, but because they need somebody to hold them accountable and they need somebody to take over that responsibility in their life because maybe they just don't feel like they can do it for any rhyme or reason. And so you really have to be there, you have to care about them, and you have to care about their goals. Sometimes it will also happen where your clients will say, you know, I just don't feel good about myself, I want to be skinny. And like, you could also be that person to show them and remind them that skinny is not the way, that your goal as a trainer in their life is to teach them how to become stronger and feel stronger in who they are. So you can really create the way people see themselves long term, and you can really change the way people feel not only about themselves but about other people around them. So, you know, I think this job can be very rewarding, but I really think for that to happen, you really have to give a shit, okay? When you sit down with a person after the assessment, that's really your place to sell yourself and what you are able to offer. And like I said before, offer them a long-term plan on how you want to do things. Okay, 3 months, we're going to work on building your core strength. Then in the next 3 months, we're going to get into like strength training. And then for 2 months, we're going to work on your endurance. So we want to make sure you're not like getting out of breath running up and down the stairs. After that, we were going to do this and this and this and this. Okay, so you can give them like an idea of what to expect in training with you long term. So that's kind of like easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Once you have clients or you are already working as a trainer, one of the easiest, hold on, let me say that again. Once you are actually working as a trainer and you have clients, one of your best marketing tools are actually going to be your clients themselves. So you can let your clients know, hey, if you're really enjoying training with me, I would love to get a few more clients. If you have anyone you can refer, and you can offer them some kind of like reward structure. So like, let's say you say to them, for every client that signs up that you refer, I will give you a free session. Or for every 3 clients who sign up with me that you have sent me, I will give you a $100 gift card to whatever. Okay? So setting up some kind of reward structure to maybe potentially entice your clients to bring you more people can be a really cool way to get more clients, because your clients know who you are and how you are as a personal trainer better than anyone else. And so if they're achieving great results and they're having a wonderful time training with you, they will speak highly of you to their friends, to their family, to their neighbors, to their colleagues. And so the word will spread, and that can really work to help promote your business. Okay? Okay. Now, the last thing that I want to say, I know I'm laughing already, but I haven't even told you the story, is that when you go to show your clients your rates, when you work at a gym, obviously they have their own rates. If you're working for yourself, you have to establish your rate. Make sure you are aware of what those rates are, and you also are okay and comfortable providing those rates to people. Now, I'm going to give you a quick story because it's story time. At one of the gyms I worked at, I was sort of like a fitness manager briefly. So I sort of helped the gym manager oversee the trainers that were coming in, like the new trainers or whatever. And so we had this new girl come in, and she is the most outgoing, bubbly, energetic, like fearless woman ever. She played sports for a long time, traveled the world, like remarkable woman. And I was like, damn. So this girl had never been a personal trainer before, but because she was so active, she was like, you know what, I'm gonna do this. So whatever her reason was, she wound up working at our gym. Now, she sat down with this gentleman, and so I was kind of standing to the side, just kind of like monitoring her, making sure she was okay. So she sits down with this guy and she's like, okay, so how did you like that session? And her body language is a very awkward, shy, and uncomfortable. And I'm just looking at her going, what's going on over here? So the guy goes, yeah, I had a wonderful time. That was great. Where do I sign? How do I start? So the girl's like, okay, I'm gonna show you how much the rates are. And so she flips over like a page and she's like, they're $85 an hour. And the guy's like, $85 an hour? No problem. Okay, so how do we start? Like, what do we have to do? And she's like, do you wanna maybe like think about it? Or like, are you sure? He's like, no, I'm sure, let's do this. So anyways, she winds up ending the conversation with, I'm gonna let you like think about it so we can discuss this like tomorrow or whatever. So the conversation's over. The guy didn't sign any papers, even though he was super ready to start training with her. Gets up and he leaves. And so I sit down with her, and so she's like, how was that? And I'm like, girl, what happened? Like, do you not trust yourself as a trainer? And she's like, no, I do. And I'm like, if you don't feel like you are worth what you're charging your clients, you shouldn't be doing this job. And so she was a little bit thrown back. Like, she was like, that's kind of mean to say. And I'm like, no, it's not. When you are speaking to a client and you're showing them your rates, that is the value that you are attaching to the service that you're providing as a trainer. Whether that is $60 or $100 or $20, you have to believe that you are worth spending that much money on for an hour, once, twice, 3 times a week, because people are paying you for your time. Over time, the longer you do this job, they're also paying for your education and your experience, the exposure that you had, etc. But in the beginning, they're paying you for your time and the knowledge that you have in that moment. And so it's also your job to increase that knowledge by exposing yourself to courses and seminars and webinars and online courses and podcasts and YouTube videos, right? But you truly have to think about this. When you go to work at a gym and they show you like, this is how much you're gonna make, that's one thing. But this is how much you're going to charge your clients. Are you comfortable charging your clients that much money? Or are you going to show your clients like, here is our rate, and then they're like $80 an hour, and you go, I know, that's a lot, right? Okay, like, just throw the paper in the air and be like, ta-da, I'm done, because you obviously don't think that you are worth that much money. So that's something you really have to think about. And so it's not just about how much you think you're worth, it's also like you are going to do your level best to give them that quality of service. Like, you know what, it is $80 an hour, but ultimately we are taking you to a healthier life, to a stronger life. I'm going to do everything possible to get you closer to your goals, make sure you can move without pain, without being out of breath. That is my job. So there are 2 ways of looking at it, but I really, really would say to anybody who feels like they are not deserving of, sorry, I just got an email. For anyone who feels like they're not deserving of that much money, then you shouldn't do this job, and maybe you should take a step back, do some courses, get some exposure, and come back when you are ready. Okay, so that's like the last little bit that I would say, that believe in what you are selling, because ultimately you're selling yourself as a trainer and how you're able to help people. I think that's it. Okay, so I know this is like a really weird way to end the video, but if you have questions, comments, concerns, feedback, leave them down below and I will answer them the best that I can. There's a little floaty right here. I don't know if anyone can see it. No? Okay, never mind. Anyways, I thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you know anyone who can really use this help, share this video with them. If you need to know more or you have questions, comments, concerns, leave them down below, because I really want to keep this conversation going and I want to help my fellow trainers out. This is really, truly one of the best jobs. I love what I do, and I think that's what's kept me in it for such a long time. Until next time, think strong always, and we'll talk again very, very soon. Bye.